Class, welcome to week 13. We are jam-packed this week. You can almost think of this as finals week for this course. Next week is very straightforward, basically just a screencast of your website, your business. Will be the gist of next week. Again, allowing you to focus on other classes if you need to, or just have a simple end to the semester. But week 13 is definitely packed, full of things to do, but they are really fascinating assignments. By now you have your businesses built, your websites are up and running, and you're really just getting into some of the finer points of our most important principles before we wrap up the class. So you've built up enough knowledge, I think, to make these assignments possible and very fascinating. So I really do enjoy the content this week. We will start with ranking and link building, and then we will jump into Google Analytics, and you'll actually have two different assignments for your Google Analytics subject this week. So note that, and I will explain that in more detail. You'll have Project 5, and your discussion boards, of course, your reflection, and then an end of course evaluation. As I mentioned with the mid-course evaluation, this is extremely valuable to me. I try and make changes every semester based on this, and so if you have a minute, please fill out end of course evaluation and give some feedback on what we can do better and what we can do differently. So let's jump into this first assignment, ranking and link building. I think I mentioned that we would get more in depth into search engine optimization and backlinks. That's what this is. Link building is one of the most powerful ways to influence your search engine optimization. And just to remind you, a backlink or link building is when another site points to your website. And when that happens, Google sees your site as an important site because other people are pointing to it, and so either you're an authority on a subject, or you have a product that people are very interested in, and so there's a lot of weight put into these backlinks. Now, these backlinks don't just develop magically. They could develop organically, but that takes a lot of time, and there's no guarantee that would ever happen. And so if you're going to have an impact on your search engine optimization as a new business, you need to have a strategy. And that's what this assignment is about, is what is your link building strategy? This is as close you'll get to a sales process as you can in online business. And by that I mean the having a sales division typically means people making cold calls, showing up door to door, business to business, and trying to make a sale. In online business, you don't do that. You advertise online. You do well with search engine optimization, and you're not doing what we would call interruption marketing and trying to grab someone's attention in a specific moment. Instead, you position yourself so you're there when they're searching for you. But link building is not that. You've got to reach out to individual websites and try to establish these links. And that's really what these articles will get into, is how you do that. And then you'll map out your strategy for this assignment. Who will do the link building and when? What will they do and how? And then where will the links be gathered is really what you need in that strategy. So there's a lot more information there. But if you're going to be found on search engine optimization in 2020, this is a key part of that. So you'll have your discussion board on that. Now let's jump into Google Analytics. As I mentioned, there's the two assignments, and so I'll go through both of them. In my mind, these are some of the more fascinating assignments we do, and they will be structured differently than they have been in the past. So your first assignment will be to go through in depth in what Google Analytics can tell you. And so there's all these questions. Which country has the third most views for the entire site? What percentage of visitors were returning visitors to the store's website in January, etc., etc. And you can see all this valuable information. There's information here about Google Analytics techniques. There's a video overview of the assignment here. This is one of the more involved assignments, so I recommend starting early. You'll spend a little bit more time on this. It'll just help you navigate the entire site. Now, here are the really key considerations of this assignment and where students tend to go wrong. You are not going to use your Google Analytics data for this. You simply don't have enough gathered. In the small time we've had websites up and running and Google Analytics attached to those websites. At least not to get into to show you how robust this data can be. So we have a demo account that we'll use from Google. So if you click this link, it will take you to this site. Let me see if I can move the screen over here. You go to this demo account and then you click here, access the demo account. That is going to kick you out to a Google Analytics page that looks a lot like your own. It's structured the exact same interface, but you'll notice there's tons and tons of data on the demo account. And that's the difference with this, with the Google demo account versus your account, is you're going to have a lot more information at your fingertips that allows you to answer those questions. So this assignment is actually more closely intertwined with the discussion board than other assignments. Go through and answer these questions as best you can. And then you will go to your discussion board and you will post those on the discussion board. Post all your answers on the discussion board. And everyone in the group can share and discuss, this is where I found this information, this is why I think that this piece is correct versus that. And as a group, you can share ideas back and forth on what you think the right answers are. And then go back and submit the assignment. Now, if you want to submit right away, that is fine. You can go ahead and submit your assignment without a discussion with your group, but that option is available to you. As I mentioned, some of those questions can be challenging. Please make sure you do your part. Your first post on this discussion board needs to be your answers to all of those questions. You can't answer a handful and then rely on your classmates to do the rest. So please make sure you've answered all of them before you post on that discussion board, your initial post. So that is the first Google Analytics assignment this week. Again, intertwined the discussion board and the prepare assignment. Then the quiz is again separate from these. The quiz will be, the content will be very similar to your prepare assignment. That one you'll do on your own. And let me hop into the quiz here. So you take the quiz one time, and that's different from other quizzes we've taken in the course. Then you'll go to the demo account and go to June 2017. I'm so sorry, I realized I forgot to mention this in the last assignment. That is January 2017. So where students really go wrong is either they will use their own account data or they will not change the date on there to the appropriate date in the assignment. So watch carefully on which date you should be using, because that will determine your answers. In your Google Analytics quiz, the month is June 2017. And then once you have that open and available to you, start the quiz, and you'll go through very similar questions, not the same questions, but a similar type of question to what you just did in the prepare assignment. And that is the analytics quiz. So these are very similar, but the difference is this is sort of a warm-up. You get to know where the data is. You can work with your group. Just make sure, and I'm going to go back in now that I neglected to mention this. January 2017 is the date you need to set the demo account. So when you go into the demo account, you can go back to any historical data. But for this assignment, we use January 2017, and that needs to be correct. So you'll go into the prepare assignment. Based on January 2017, you'll fill it up. And then for the quiz, you saw it was a different date, and there'll be slightly different questions. So that's it for the Google Analytics portion of the week. Now we'll jump into Project 5. The purpose of Project 5 is to give you a broad look at your website. And so you can, across your website, the different aspects we developed, say, here's how well I've done on my website. With everything you could do to optimize it, here's a ranking. And to do it, you'll go to the site woorank.com. That's a company that will give a full assessment of your website, and they'll give you a score. They'll give you things you can improve, and it's an extremely helpful tool. So you'll go to woorank.com and enter your site's URL. Please note you can only do one a week. And so if you are interested in what other sites might rank, or you put in your URL incorrectly, you will not be able to access your WooRank unless you go to a separate IP address. So you'd have to go to a library or another location with separate Wi-Fi. That can be very challenging, especially in the current climate. So please make sure you put in the correct URL the first time into WooRank. Then for the project, you'll copy the URL for WooRank with your site in it. So when you enter your site's URL in the WooRank search box, it will come up with a customized URL for your site. Copy and paste that URL into an Excel workbook. Then copy the final rank into the workbook, meaning the score you get. They're typically between 20 and 60. So copy your WooRank into there. And then in your Excel workbook, list some combination of this. 5 high impact changes you plan to make, or 10 low impact changes, or some combination of the two. Think of high impact changes worth 10 points. Think of low impact changes worth 5 points, and you need 50 points. Think of it in those terms. You could even list some of them, list mid-impact changes, and they're worth 7.5 points. But some combination of that, of high impact and low impact. And then that's it. So the ultimate submission is not that complicated. It has to have the URL, the rank, and your changes. And that's really what we're looking for in this project. So that will be it. I know this is a longer screencast. We've got a lot of content this week, but I hope this helps give a basic overview. Please let me know if there's more detail I can go into, or if something was not clear. I'm excited to see the work this week because it really is a fascinating week as far as content goes. So thanks everybody, and look forward to seeing your submissions this week.